everybody. Glad to see y'all come out. Mayor or maybe in later is out on a call for the tow trucks, so may not. We'll need a motion to approve the operating statement for December the 17th, 2012, council meeting and public hearing, January 14th, 2013, the work session minutes and quarterly financial statement for November 2012.
I'll make a motion that we approve the operating statement for December 17, 2012, council meeting minutes and public hearing, January 14, 2013, work session minutes, and Kiwanis financial statement for November 2012.
Okay, do you have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, by the usual voting sign?
Aye.
All those opposed, nobody voted. All right, well, since Perry's not here, I don't have a mayor's report. So we'll go ahead and we'll drop down to our return. John?
Okay, well, I do have a few things tonight. I'll try to do them in order that they appear on the agenda. The capital improvement program, there's been a recommendation, annual recommendation from the Planning Commission. This is in the same form that we've seen over the past few years, and it's been sort of a compact plan because of the lack generally of funding to get any great number of projects underway over the past few years. The Planning Commission did in fact approve it and recommend it at its last meeting, so it's up for introduction this evening. And then technically this does not have to be advertised. It's a non-binding plan, but historically we have introduced it and then voted on it the following month, which I think works this time. And you all should have a copy of the actual plan that's been recommended. And we'll have a resolution to adopt that plan, or adopt it as you may want to modify it next month.
Okay.
So that's what we stand on the CIP. I also wanted to give a report on the status of the designated places map under the Planned Maryland legislation. And I believe that you all should have a copy of that designated places map. This is different than the growth tiers map that you all reviewed and approved last month. That's under the state septic law, so that's been sent to the Maryland Department of the Environment. Also, around the end of the year, the Planning Commission approved and sent to the Department of the Environment the application and this map for the designated places. And our understanding is it will take the Maryland Department of Planning some time to review these. They may come back with comments. What you'll see in terms of how to sort of work through this is that in the application, under each category, which is in the legend on the colored map, there's an explanation of what each category or place represents. And of course, the thing that sort of jumps off the page is that most of the map that was sent to the state from the Planning Commission is red in color, which is, these are targeted growth areas. And, I think at first blush that probably looks a little counterintuitive because a lot of the red is well-developed part of the older portion of the town. But as Ned Cuman reported to the Planning Commission, we believe there may be, as this law kind of works its way through over time, some funding benefits to targeted growth areas versus established areas. So we think there may be some benefit to a red designation on this map. So that's the way it was sent to the state, and I guess it remains to be seen how the state starts to react as these maps come in. So there isn't any immediate need for council action on this. But this is going to be developing over time. And if you have comments, questions, or thoughts, it would be a good idea to pass them along, either directly to the planning commission or maybe through Amy, so that as this evolves, everybody's part of the process. And again, it may be a while before we know whether this map is going to be the one that will be approved for Union Bridge or something else. So we'll just try to keep you advised on that. Again, no need for council action on that. Unless you have any questions about that.
Very good.
All right, next item, update record retention and disposal schedule. The brief history is that a law was passed back around or just before the year 2006, which required the town and other agencies and units of government to have a record retention and disposal schedule. You may recall at that time the town created such a schedule, submitted it to the state archivist, and it was approved. At that time, the regulations required a review of the schedule every 5 years. However, in July of 2010, they sort of updated the regulations and required that review every 2 years. So council did, in fact, through staff, review and reaffirm that policy back in 2 years ago, basically. I think it was in February of 2011. So it's up for review again. Of course, Dawn is the custodian of the records and the person that administers the record retention and disposal schedule. You all may know that Dawn has reported that it seems to be working fine, and she doesn't have any cause to think it needs any modification. So if council is comfortable with that, then I think you would need a motion to simply reaffirm the record retention and disposal schedule that's in place, and then we would send it. Really, all we do is send a letter to the state, and they know that we've done our 2-year review.
Okay, can I have a motion for the update record retention disposal schedule?
Make a motion that we update the record retention and disposal schedule.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, use your voting sign.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. We have a few things that aren't on the agenda, but we may need some input from council. The annual auditor's contract for our auditors is up this coming year, and what we've done since I think around 2007 is that the town has put that contract out for bid. Dawn has brought that to my attention. I don't believe it's necessary to put that out for bid, and I don't recall, although I couldn't dig far enough back into my records, I don't think that the town was bidding that before 2007. I think we had an auditor that had been in place for a number of years and just basically renewed on an annual basis with that auditor. And I think under the charter, accounting services is one of the exceptions where you do not necessarily have to bid. I double-checked the state law that requires annual audit. It does have some specifications and qualifications for the auditors as CPAs, but I don't see any requirement that it has to be bid. So, just like any other contract, just because it doesn't have to be bid doesn't mean that it wouldn't be a good idea to bid it. I believe that the auditors that we've had for the past few years, and Dawn can correct me, but I think we've been satisfied with the job they've done. So one option would be to ask them for proposal before you go out to bid, see what that looks like, and then make a decision. Of course, all this has to be, have to keep moving to get all this done on time. Or if the council's wishes is to bid, then of course we can prepare the bid documents and they can be advertised. And again, that's what we did 3 years ago, I believe it was.
Well, we have a quote of $18,200 for 2013, 12-13.
That's in this contract.
In this contract, yeah.
And
So that would be the current year.
If I remember correctly, I think that the only reason we went out to bid was because there was an issue that the auditors had themselves with, they couldn't do this and this, something like that.
That's right.
So, I don't think we really need to go out to bid.
Okay, is everyone satisfied with the ones that we have? Okay.
Well, then I think the direction would be to ask for the proposal, probably 1 year and 3 years in the alternative, which is what we've done the last time we bid. And then Dawn can bring that back to council and you can decide. Now, when you don't advertise for bid, it is a council decision. It's not something Dawn can just sign as clerk treasurer. So
Okay.
that would have to be approved by
Okay.
council. Okay, well then that's sufficient direction. Update on the FEMA floodplain maps that I've been reporting to you probably for 2 years, and FEMA keeps telling us that our letter of final determination is coming. And back in, I believe it was the summer, letters of notice went out to people in the community that might be affected. But we haven't seen our letter of final determination, so I checked with Jason Stick at the county, who administers this for the county, and he confirms that those letters just haven't gone out. It's not just Union Bridge, that apparently, for reasons that I don't know, but FEMA just hasn't sent those final determination letters out. So nothing to do there. That's just something that we thought would have been completed probably 6 months to a year ago, and it's still out there. And we'll just keep an eye out for it. When the letter comes in, that will give us 6 months to verify that our ordinance complies with the new maps and the new federal law, which I think it probably will, because we piggyback on the county law when it comes to floodplain anyway. So that's the update on that. And then we've also, just so council is aware, the bay restoration fee, which is essentially $5 a month for residential, and of course the town bills quarterly, so it's $15 per quarter. There are hardship provisions in the law, but in order to administer or grant a hardship, the town has to have an approved process through MDE, an approved application form. So Dawn and I are working on that now. I just tonight brought to Dawn a copy of the county form. It may not be exactly what works best for the town, but it's probably a good start. And ultimately, that process will have to come back to council, be approved by council, so that we can then submit it to MDE and get it approved.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, John. Jared is not available tonight, so I will give an update on West Broadway. Sandball is proceeding as pretty much as scheduled, and we should be West Broadway as far as the lines within and the next several weeks, weather permitting. And then we'll proceed with the servicing. Okay, that brings us down to the public comments. Is there anyone who'd like to say something?
With Westboro Front Council. Not a lot going on, but just want to report that we closed registrations for youth baseball this month. And so more information will come on the number of registrations and when the season will actually start. The other thing, just to make the community aware, probably in the month of May, you will see flyers for registration for soccer and summer rugby.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? All right. We will proceed with our committee reports. Amy?
I have received no calls since our last meeting.
Oh, great. All right, I'll give my report since, well, I'll be last.
I called Potomac and had the Christmas tree lights turned off, or the Christmas tree decorations, and they were also taken down, and Rob Key fixed the light on Main Street. That's all for me.
Okay. I attended the EAC meeting. They discussed their 2012 initiatives and progress reports to the county commissioner, and what they were going to put on it. That they're going to try to have the meetings audio recorded since they're having a problem with getting the video recording. They had a presentation on HB 987 CH 151 from the Carroll County person, I don't remember his name. It's that stormwater utility fee that they came and talked to us about in our council meeting. They are putting together an advisory council to look into this. Unfortunately, they have to have this rate schedule and everything together and approved by the county commissioners by July, which does not give them a lot of time. That committee is to be made up of the Environmental Advisory Council, 3 county staff people, budget, finance, and the commissioner's office, 2 people from municipalities. Those are ones that are already on the wastewater, the WRCC committee. They're expecting to have 2 from the Chamber of Commerce, 1 representing business and 1 representing finance, and 1 person from the agriculture consensus in the county. These will be open meetings. They'll be meeting twice a month. The one meeting will be either before or after the Environmental Advisory Council. The other one would be like two weeks later. They've got a lot of work to do because they've not only got to figure out this rate schedule, they've also got to figure out how they're going to process it. They need to figure out how they're going to deal with hardships, fee reductions, an appeal process, the billing and collection, and then they have to establish this watershed and protection and restoration fund. At this time, it does not affect the municipalities, so we don't have to deal with it. But as they said when we came to our meeting, it may eventually affect us also. And at that point, we're able to go along with them or adopt something different from them or whatever. But it's kind of a nightmare thing that they're having to work on. I also attended the MML Communications Committee meeting. Very good meeting. I'm happy to report that the town of Union Bridge has completed everything that they need to complete as of this date in order to continue to be a banner city town. So, and also I'm hoping that the mayor is going to get a chance to go up and talk to the people at Elmer Wolf to try to get them to participate in the If I Were Mayor contest this year. Because although we talked to them last year, they did not. I also plan to try to make an effort to get in and talk to the principal and the 4th grade teachers, because if they don't want to do it as a classroom activity, they can do it as an activity where they give the information to the students. The students do it at home on their own if they want to do it, bring it into the teacher, and then we can work on it from there. And the MML quarterly dinner meeting for the Carroll County chapter will be March 7th up at the community center. They haven't quite finalized the total menu. And I think that was it.
Thank you very much. Okay, anyone have anything else?
She asked what time it was. It would be social time at 6:30, dinner at 7 o'clock.
Okay, the street reports. I haven't had any complaints on snow. Opie from Sandball has been doing actually an excellent job of putting salt down. If, Dawn, have you heard any issues? He's been right on top of it, even in Christmas Eve. So, he's doing a great job. There's been a couple of signs ordered, and one of them is going to be placed at the cross streets from East Broadway and Leitner, stating no trucks allowed. We're having an issue, I think it's been discussed before, of truckers turning on East Broadway at the light. And that's due from their GPSs. And I'm well aware of how GPSs work since I use it frequently. And they're not actually real accurate sometimes. They'll have you turn before you really should. And so we're going to put this sign up, a much larger sign, and much more visible, at the at Leitner. And that way, if they get there and if they can read it, they can turn right and go on out and go up Quaker Hill. And speaking of Quaker Hill, at the present time I'm working doing the Lehigh shutdown, and there's been on top of getting a sign placed at the entrance of Lehigh stating that trucks are not to make left turns, that which will bring them back up into up Quaker Hill and down on Locust Street, if they can read the signs. So, and we're also going to have a sign put up for no skateboards, which probably would be put on the parking lot. I think that's what y'all decided on it. Yeah. So, that's all I got. Does anyone have anything else?
I forgot something.
Okay.
I also attended the MML Legislative Orientation Lobbying 101 program that they had this month, which was really awesome. They went over, how they identify the issues, and how they figure out what they want to do as far as the bill or the legislation is concerned. How you really need to have somebody who's on that committee be part of the group that's actually presenting the legislation, and that a lot of what happens before it even gets to the committee meeting as to whether or not it'll go somewhere or not, and how hard it is to get bills passed if you don't have all this stuff in a row. And then we went around and visited the House and the Senate and talked to some people who were municipal officials who are now down in the legislature and the Senate. It was very interesting, and I learned a lot.
Think about running for something?
No way.
Okay. All right. If nothing else, we're looking for a motion to close down.
I make a motion that we close the meeting.
For a second? All right. Thank you very much, folks, for coming out.